Hello, everyone.
Hello,
How is
David.
the connection quality? Everyone hear me well?
Very good.
Amazing. Hello, Alexander. Hello, Grigory. Grigory, are you hear us?
It seems that Greg cannot hear us. No, he can. Oh, he can.
Okay. Amazing. So yeah, if everyone can hear us well, that's amazing. So I think we can start. And first of all, I wanted to say hi for everyone who listening our today's stream. And I'm super happy to be there today with my good friends and partners, Alexander and Greg Mars. So let me make a short intro about everyone here. Alexander Tkachenko is CEO and founder of VNX, the stablecoin platform that already issued a few stablecoins backed by gold and connected with euro and CHF. And we don't want to stop here and want to hear more about the stablecoin future and how we can develop more useful models on the stablecoin market. And as well, I want to introduce the Greg Mars. He's the CEO and co-founder of the Emirex. It's centralized exchange based in United Arab Emirates and looking for growth in that very, promising region that's going higher and higher every year, as well in crypto regulation, because Dubai right now is like epicenter of every crypto exchange. Every crypto platform can find some way how to develop their business in United Arab Emirates. And about myself, yeah, I'm David Alive. I'm founder of Salad Labs and working hard together with Emirex, with VNX to continue the growth in the market. And today we have a very nice topic to discuss. It's the very sensitive topic created on idea of future of stable coins. So we named it like understanding the stable coins, because for today, every person who adopted to the crypto market definitely has some stable coins on their balances, on their wallets, centralized exchanges, decentralized exchanges, cold wallets, hot wallets, and how we're using them. Usually, we're sending our stables to each other, and it means that we just sending some assets, changing wallet owners, and using stables maybe as a payment method in some places where it's accepted for nowadays. But we're also using stable coins to trade, because when you're trading something, you need to have two kind of assets. Like if you want to purchase some BTC, you need to know how much the BTC is cost to our, comfortable in accordance with our comfortable assets like euro, like US dollar, like CHF, ruble, British pound. It doesn't matter. We need to have something that we can trade against other assets we want to. So if we have BTC, ETH, any other altcoin to trade, we need to have stable coins for that. But it is not the only case how we can use them. And today I will be very happy to negotiate with you, gentlemen, how we can use stables more and what is the future of the stablecoin market. And my first question will be about very interesting topic. So we all remember that sometimes ago, Binance, as the biggest exchange, they had a very big problem with the BUSD and with the BUSD issuance, with usage of BUSD, because the SEC created so many investigations and some law cases about problem of stable coins and said that they are securities for some part. So my first question will be for the both of you, and it sounds like, is USD stable coins era is finished? So what will happen with all USD backed or based or connected to USD stable coins in a short and a long future? What do you think about it?
Who should start, David?
Sorry?
Who should start? Who should be starting? Greg?
Alexander, up to you. Let's start from you. Yeah.
I totally agree with you that recently there has been serious turmoil on the US market. not necessarily only related to the stablecoins, but to stablecoins in particular. In my personal view, it is possibly a change of the attitude of the regulator that led to it. We see that the regulator effectively shut down two banks that worked with crypto, Signature and Silvergate. They ceased operations at least. We can see that there are numerous reports about the issues of the BUSD, about potential issues of Coinbase. And in my personal view, it creates an atmosphere of uncertainty in relation to the regulated stablecoins in the US. It doesn't mean that the era of the US stablecoins is over, but the uncertainty is unnerving. Therefore, that creates an opportunity for companies like ours that are issuing European regulated stablecoins like VNX Gold, or for example, fiat reference tokens like VNX Euro or VNX Swiss franc, to come to the market and to offer an alternative to the US stablecoins or US dollar stablecoins.
Okay. The question is also for you because we're super interested to hear your point of view about this topic. Because now the main magic of our conversation today that we're speaking from the both sides. So Alexander is more speaking from the asset owner side, who need to be listed on many platforms and negotiate from his position. But you speaking from the exchange phase, so it means that you has a lot of assets in one place, and your negotiations and your relations with altcoins, stable coins, much closer for some times, because you are providing them a trading service, so you are the platform where all they meet each other. So what do you think about the USD stable coins in the future? Oh, the problem, Greg, that we don't hear you. So yeah, maybe it's something with your microphone. Just check it twice, please. Okay, but no worries there. Try to find a way. Yeah, we don't hear you yet, but we will tell you immediately when we will hear something from you. But now it's so looks like we're not ready yet. Okay. Anyway, the idea of USD stablecoins, maybe I will try to answer from my side as well. Idea from the USD stablecoins is
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we
amazing.
can see you well.
Yes.
Oh,
So I will
okay.
repeat my question. Yeah. So what you think about the USD stablecoins era in the future as exchange owner, as the person who's speaking with all the altcoins, stablecoins, and other projects which are listed right now on the Emirex?
Yeah. So first of all, I think that at least in the short term, they will continue to exist. And today in the morning, I've checked the statistics of USDC and USDT for the last 6 months. And despite we had the issue with USDC, it's like the volume and the amount of users continue to grow. It's like around 1,000 wallets per day for USDC. And of course, there are a few notable issues concerning stable coins. And as soon as they can be addressed, they will continue to exist. And the first one is, I would say, the lack of transparency and regulatory scrutiny. For example, some stable coins such Tether, they faced criticism for their perceived lack of transparency. And it's important that the stable coin like VNX has clear audit and transparency of the funds which are packed. And then the second issue is centralization concern. So that's the cryptocurrency is centralization concerns that it is one single point of failure, right? So it's not like really decentralized. Then the regulatory pressure. I think that regulators become to pay closer attention, and they are considering different new rules to mitigate potential risks. For example, U.S. Treasury Department called for stricter rules for stablecoin issuers, and including the request requiring them to be federally issued banks, right? Issued banks to be issued in the process. And the last one is market manipulation on the prices of the cryptocurrencies, which can be erased. And we saw like a recent case with USDC. So once these concerns are solved, I think the cryptocurrency, the stable coins will continue to exist.
Yeah, that's really, how to say better, important point from your side, that regulation is every time important question that exchanges more focusing on, but not the projects. Because if you created some project and you think that you are okay to go for any exchange, that's usually absolutely not the same from the exchange side, because exchange has so many risks when they list something, because the crypto regulation is not finished yet nowhere in the world, and the regulation questions is really important. But from my side today, you have the ability to trade stables, but tomorrow regulator in your country will say that no more stables in our country, and you immediately need to change everything, speak with all the partners. So yeah, that's the really important question as well. I'm super agreed here. So my second question will be again about the stable coins, and maybe more interested for retail users which using the stables on a daily basis. If you all remember the situation with Luna, with their algorithmic stable, and some other stable coins cases about their crashes happens in last few years. So my question will be like, how to be sure that your stable that you issued are really stable? So means we remember just 1 month ago or 2 months ago, the trouble with the USDC when it goes down for 10%. I don't know how to explain it maybe from my side, because I'm more here like a retail customer of all of you guys. I'm a customer of the exchange. I'm a customer of the stablecoin issuing companies. So for me, it was like, it's not fair. It's not fear. It's scary movie, because all my stable assets become cheaper for at least 10% in just a couple of hours, and I don't have any idea what to do next. Sell it right now, wait for recovery, believe, or do what I need to do. Because my point was, I decided not to sell nothing, so I become from trader to believer. So I'm become to like, I don't know, religion believer, same as I, because everything I can do now, just believe that the company founders, very big guys, will create something that will make my stable again stable. So my question for you is like, how to be sure, how retail customers can be sure that their stable assets are really stables. Yeah, and let's start again with the same way, Alexander. Yeah, let's start from you, and then we'll ask the same for the Greg.
I think when we're speaking about the stablecoins, of course, they're different different companies that are issuing stablecoins. I come from the traditional background, therefore I'm more in favor of the centralized stablecoins and regulated stablecoins. That's why VNX went this way. We're regulated. But it doesn't mean that the average retail investor or some other people may have their own or different views. My proposal for everybody is do your own research when you select the stables. My preference is for the centralized and regulated. Someone else might have a different preference, but then obviously try to understand what's behind the company that issues the stablecoin. When we speak about the VNX and when we speak about the more specifically centralized stablecoins, it's obviously necessary to be sure that the assets that the company has or used to issue the stablecoins are there. That's why, for example, VNX is doing external audits. And we already published the first external audits of the VNX Gold audit, just to make sure that everybody who visits our site and can actually see that the third-party auditors confirmed that the amount of, for example, VNX Gold in circulation corresponds to the amount of physical gold which is stored in the vaults in Liechtenstein. So two things: do your own research, and when you do your own research, try to be very sure about the assets, presence of the assets, and the quantity of the assets that are backing the stable coins.
Okay. So, Greg, what do you think?
I want to add to the answer, and actually, with Alexander, with his answer, covered 4 out of 5 points I wanted to bring to the attention. So to ensure that stable coins you hold or you use are truly stable, I believe you need to look at the 5 factors, which the first one is transparency. So it's choose stable coins with transparent operations and collateral management. And Alexandra just mentioned this. Then the collateral quality, investigate the quality and the types of assets that back the stable coin. So ideally it should be liquid, low risk assets. And this could be cash or cash equivalents. It could be gold or other precious metal, and short-term government securities. The third one, I would say, liquidity. So be sure that stablecoin listed on multiple exchanges. This is important that you have the ability to sell your coins if it is needed, or be sure that the company who issues stable coins, they can buy back coins from you. The fourth one would be market reputations and credibility of issuing company. And I know that the government of Luxembourg, they gave the license to VNX, but also they gave grant to VNX from the government money because of they believe in the process, how rightly it is done by the VNX company. And last one is a legal and regulatory compliance. So ensure that stable coins comply with the relevant laws and regulations in the jurisdiction. So like you give an example of BUSD, right? So that there are some questions if it is compliant with US law or not. So that's the things you need to consider. And if you have all the positive answers, you're okay with your stablecoins.
Yeah, thank you for the answer. What I can say for our listeners here, and from my point of view, that's the very big niche that will be covered by someone in the future. But we're all saying that Dior is very important. For the listeners which don't understand what it means, Dior goes like, do your own research on every action, every asset, every coin, every movement that you plan to do. You need to do your own research in crypto, because crypto is related to the super high risks which you can face every day when you just open up your wallet and your journey begins. But that's the problem of the industry at the same time, I think so, because right now, if we have the classic models which we're using on a daily basis, they all centralize it. So all banks, all the services, all the travel companies, airlines, some city and government services that we're using, they all centralize it. And why we feel that it's more comfortable than decentralized services? Because we can find person who responsive for something. In crypto, we're all responsive are now at our at our own side, and I think we will find anyway someone who will take the responsibility for many actions in the future, and it will not be related only to the stable coins, because not all the people can do this research properly and be safe in crypto space as well. So the next question, I want to start from the Greg, and I want to ask about maybe some trading hints for the stablecoin market. Can you please tell me, Greg, the arbitrage between stable coins, maybe with many exchanges, maybe on one exchange, maybe on different platforms, maybe between centralized and decentralized exchanges, is it possible as an idea? And do you know maybe some cases how people doing that? And is it safe way how to do some trading? And is it helpful for exchanges and the market, or it's going against of the interest of the companies and traders?
Yeah, it's like interesting question, and most people don't really understand what is it. You need to understand that arbitrage exists always, and there are people who own the bots and computer systems who always earn on this. And there are three types of arbitrage with the stable coins. It is the cross-exchange arbitrage. So this is the most common arbitrage. Then when at one exchange the price is $1 1 cent, at another exchange 99 cents, and somebody is buying and selling at the same time. And this process helps bring the prices on both exchanges back. So the prices become the same again. Then another one is a triangular arbitrage, when somebody is using three pairs, for example, USDT, USD, USDT, BTC, and then BTC, USD, and creating this closed loop, buying and selling the assets in specific sequence, and then capitalize on the prices differences. And the third one is the funding kind of arbitrage. And this is happening on the futures trading and margin trading. So someone borrows stablecoin with a lower funding rate and lending or depositing on the platform with a higher funding rate. So, and this difference creates a profit. But it's important to note that arbitrage opportunities are very short-lived and involve very, very small margins, and could be very risky and requires to maintain funds on multiple exchanges. Thus, that's why this is like very complex business and very sophisticated, and big companies doing it all the time. Like as individual, it's not possible to do in normal conditions.
Got it. Thank you so much. So, Alexander, what about you? Is arbitrage traders, robots, and live traders, they are helping to manage the rates and the course for the VNX, or you don't see them, or they going against your interest? So, how do you feel, and how do you feel about the opportunities to trade assets? I mean, stablecoins in arbitrage mode.
First of all, regarding the arbitrage, I think these people doing an important role in business. They help to stabilize and equalize the prices. So when they compete away the arbitrage, so to say, and then bring the prices to the equilibrium. Regarding us specifically, we are a reasonably young project which came to the market only last year. Therefore, we're not probably yet the target for the large companies who are doing the arbitrage on the stablecoins. But as we grow, I do expect that we will attract people who would be holding liquidity and doing exactly what Greg mentioned, trying to find small differences between different exchanges, and then try to make money on it.
I got it. So
I tried to buy your token cheaper than gold, because the gold was volatile these days, but I was not able. Somebody is doing arbitrage already.
Okay, thank you. Good to know.
So yeah, that's the good news as well. Yeah, for the VNX as a coin. Okay, so my next question will be about the difference between algorithmic and non-algorithmic stable coins for the market. What you think about the algorithmic stables which are already exist in the market? And I will ask you again to pay attention to the case that was happened with Luna and UST, because at the beginning, when some founders of the stablecoin projects launches the stablecoin, they showing the mathematic model that will definitely work, that will be stable, and everyone can be sure that everything will be all right. But we all saw what happened with the Luna, and I want to ask you about your feeling about algorithmic stablecoins. Are they have chance to survive in future as a model or not? Because we have also DAI as a stablecoin and other models which are already here in the market. So what do you think about them? And do we need to be away from those kind of models? Do we need to believe more for stables backed by some real asset as a VNX, or we can be sure that some USDT, USDC, and other kind of stables which back it not only by real assets are good as well? So what do you think about algorithmic models first, Alexander? Can you just share your vision here?
I think that two major points to note. I have a VC background, and once I was discussing with another company who shared a very interesting observation. They wanted to invest or wanted to find good new technologies in deep tech. And then they analyzed about 6,000 different technologies. And the observation they had is that nearly PhD, in Russian it's candidates to be a PhD, produced a tremendous amount of so-called eternal engines, which obviously do not exist. But you have to have at least 2 real PhDs, because these people are so professional, in order to recognize that what they are actually selling to you, it cannot exist. It doesn't exist. It goes against the laws of the physics. So in order to understand, we're speaking about retail customers or the average customers, that the complex mathematical models which are presented to you by algorithmic stablecoins actually make sense, you need to be able to read and understand what you've been presented. So that goes back to our discussion of do your own research. I'm not sure that many people can actually do your own research, and hearsay doesn't work here. And the second one, an example of DAI as well, because the depegging of USDC actually led to the depegging of DAI, comes back to the point of algorithmic stablecoins do rely on the reserves as well. Whether these reserves are in the sense of VNX, precious metals, or, for example, short-term government bonds. In the case of algorithmic stablecoins, it could be other assets, but they're still reserves. And therefore, here, you should simply understand that whatever is the nature of the reserve, or whatever is the nature of the stablecoin, it relies on the quality of the reserves which are backing it. And therefore, in my personal view, these 3 points, collapse of the most prominent algorithmic stablecoin, Terra Luna, 2 very complex models which show how the reserves are made and and the price peg is kept, and 3 not very conventional reserves make the adoption of the algorithmic stable coins questionable. It doesn't mean that they will not exist. It doesn't mean that some of them may not become popular. To me, it's just questionable.
Okay. So, Greg, share us more light about the same question. And do you have any algorithmic stable coins listed on the Emirex right now? And do you have any relations with them? And what do you think about their model? Is it really safe for the long time future, or you more prefer the asset-backed, real asset-backed stable coins?
Yeah. The question, I think it may be premature to assert that algorithmic stable coins will never survive in comparison with asset-backed stable coins. However, there are certainly challenges with stable coins or with algorithmic stable coins. And the first one is mentioned by Alexander is complexity, because algorithmic stable coins uses complex mechanisms as smart contracts, and this complexity can be hard to understand to the average user and to make his own due diligence. Then I would say stability concerns. For example, such coins like algorithmic DAI, they are backed by Ethereum or Bitcoin as a collateral, and at the same time, these cryptocurrencies are volatile as well, so it could impact the volatility of the stability of the algorithmic coin. Then scalability, because imagine there is more and more coins, stable coins is required. So there is a more amount of collateral is required. So this is lead to higher collateralization ratios. So it can affect these stable coins because there are limited amount cryptocurrencies, right? Trust. Asset-backed stable coins generally are more considered to be like trusted because they are backed by something tangible, and also regulatory risks. So because algorithmic stable coins may be considered as security coins, or can be not approved by certain governments. But at the same time, I looked at the fact what shows us the statistics, and I don't know if I can share my screen. difficult to share the screen. But anyway, what I noticed the following, that the amount of the transactions of DAI stays the same for the last year. So it means that people continue using DAI, but the volume of the transfer amount dropped maybe 10 times. So people are very, very cautious now and concerned to keep value in algorithmic stable coins. They are okay maybe to have like 10, 20, 50, $100 in algorithmic coins and transact, but they are not happy to keep value in algorithmic stable coins. And this is how I think it will continue, and this is how stable coins, algorithmic stable coins, will continue to evolve.
Yeah, okay, that's a very good point. And in addition, I just wanted to say that I always like to say that people which are not adopted yet to the crypto space, they think that we all here playing with fire, but we are in crypto space saying that, oh, we have stables and algorithmic stables that can be playing with fire. But people who has algorithmic stables can go for some yield farming, staking platforms, and play with fire on those platforms. So there are so many stages, and you never know where you really, playing with safe or not so assets. And the knowledge is everything here. But it's very interesting fact that people, really, we can check the level of confidence of the users in crypto by amount of volume and amount of transactions that they do in a different assets. And that's the beauty of crypto, that we can see all that information in real time in every moment when we just need it. So let's prognose maybe for a while how you gentlemen think we can use stable coins in future. So now the obvious thing that it's a payment method, but what else? I mean, from the existing models of usage, we will see as a future of the stable coins, because I can just say that I can use my stables to pay for something. If I'm able to do that, I can invest my stables, I can stake it, and that's all. Nothing else I can do with my stables anymore. And a very limited amount of places where I can really use them. And it should be only two scenarios. The number one, if the vendor on another side can accept crypto as a payment method, or if they use some platform that gives me an opportunity to pay it safely and in a regulated mode. So my question, how you think in future, what else we can do with the stables that we can't do now, and how it can be better than fiat money that we're using now, because they have much more opportunities to use. Alexander, let's start from you as well.
Thank you, David. My personal feeling is that crypto industry is, despite being 13, 14 years old, is still at quite early stages of the development, mainly due to the fact that the industry that it operates is probably the largest in the world. It's a financial industry. Therefore, in order to try to take a significant space in this such a well-established and the largest probably industry worldwide, it takes time and it's not so easy. But what crypto industry will develop into, it will gradually replicate, or disrupt the traditional financial industry or parts of it. And in my view, a natural extension for the stable coins will be usage in the financial or in the investment scenarios. be it option trading, be it structured products, etc., etc. But my personal view, in the future, stablecoins will be more and more used for the investment scenarios. For sure, we already discussed that payment is one very obvious and already used method. It will continue to grow. There is a significant upside for many people in the countries with weak financial systems to have exposure to regulated stablecoins with good reserves. And it will continue to expand, but I see the big kind of next push is investment scenarios.
Okay, I'm agreed on that. Greg, what do you think about the future of stablecoins? And if you can explain us better what exactly right now people can do with the stables on Emirex, that will be also interesting to know, and maybe how you can develop this, part of the business in the future.
I think stable coins is a parallel ecosystem of traditional finance, and I can name you around 10 use cases for the stable coins. The one would be trading and investing. So investors also can hold stable coins as a low risk asset in their portfolio. Then the cross-border transactions. So it's enable fast, low-cost international transactions and bypassing the banking systems and all the regulations associated with these transactions. Then all we know, DeFi, decentralized finance, where we can use stables on the different platforms. Another thing is remittances. So it helps individuals to send money to their families in other countries without any fees, high fees, and instantly. So which is competition with the traditional banking. Then escrow services, because now there's more and more smart contracts appear, and it could be used as a collateral in the smart contracts. Then, of course, we mentioned e-commerce and online payments, so merchants can accept stable coins for the payments of goods, services. Then another thing which is very convenient is payroll and employee benefits. So to pay contractors, employee, especially who working remotely in different countries, with a cryptocurrency, which is making the process much more easier. Then it could be financial inclusion, and we saw it in countries with high inflation, where their populations enabling or populations using these coins to have it like a stable store of value when the country currencies is falling. And the last one, but I think very, very, how to say, big one, is a gaming and digital assets, where stable coins can be integrated into gaming platforms and digital markets, and allow users to buy, sell, trade virtual items, virtual goods. So it will be for sure globally accepted value. So I think huge potential for the growth of the stable coins.
Got it. Yeah, I'm fully agreed with that, and that's really informative. I think mostly for our audience, for our listeners, because all of them has a stable coins, and I think most of us in crypto, united by the idea how to make more value, make more wealth on our assets, and I highly believe that no one using the crypto with any idea except making money. So if you have any altcoins in your wallet, you bought them because you want to make money on them, and definitely stable coins. That's the easiest way how to navigate the users and the audience, how to create some more profit and wealth from there. So, and I want to ask the last question, and I guess that's the most interesting question for me personally to know, because you are experts in global markets and trading markets. And do you think that stable coins is just a stage one or test polygon of CBDC adoption in the future? So, I mean, maybe CBDC is testing right now how it will work, and one day they will just cut all the stable coins related to their currencies and issue the CBDCs and say that there is only way how to use digital money now. And crypto again will go to the gray zone in most of the countries. So what do you think about the CBDC's adoption? And do you think that the stable coins is just a testing mode of that adoption in the future? Alexander, you can start it.
Okay, so again, thank you. Thanks a lot, David. If we look at the other aspects of the financial industry, in many countries, there is only one exchange, centralized exchange. But in crypto, you see lots of great companies such as Emirex, for example, who offer you different varieties. They have different flavors. You can actually choose an exchange which is tailored to your needs. And this variety creates popularity of crypto, in my view, to some extent. But it's also an appeal. It's competition, new products are coming up, etc., etc., etc. So one of the points against CBDCs is that current decentralization is actually good for the market. Competition creates winners, but also does not allow to create monopolies. Number two, we have already been discussing about how the traditional finance developed in the past, and still, if you go to the UK, you will see banknotes which are issued, for example, in the Northern Ireland by individual banks. So this was the issue, how it was developing. The centralization is a reasonably recent development. So we may come to it, but I think at a much, much later stage, if at all, because the competition, in my view, is good for the market. And number three, I think there are many points against introduction of CBDCs, mainly stemming from the end customer reactions. When you do transactions with CBDCs, that means that all of your transactions are visible and stay there forever. But the nature of the people is that they might want to have some transactions to be private, and not necessarily for the bad reasons. It could be for the good reasons. It's also possible that people change. So they did some bad things, but they would like to, they would like to change. But the history of some bad transactions stay there forever. I'm not sure that such a big brother, constant development and surveillance and forever staying history is something that many people will be able to stomach. So on all 3 points, from the competition driving, product creation or newer and better models, to the history that we're at an early stage where still in the traditional finance there were many, many players, to the possible rejection by the end customers, I think we're a long time away from the CBDCs. It doesn't mean that they will not happen. although I personally don't think they will. But at least we are, in my view, far away from credible attempts to introduce them.
Okay. Greg, what do you think? Is CBDCs will come one day to the all exchanges and say that only them can be listed and all the stables need to be gone? And how do you think about the CBDCs in the future? Do we need them? Do you want them on the exchange? And is it something new and better future for the centralized exchange, or it's something bad that you never want to be happen?
Yeah, I think it can be argued that stablecoins are a preliminary stage of CBDCs. However, while they have some similarities, they are very distinct in their design, purpose, and also underlying technology. And as the first stage before stable coins can be seen that they are adoption stage for CBDCs, for example, and they are common in the terms of that it helps people to be familiar with digital currencies. So stable coins have helped introduce a concept of digital currencies paged by stable assets, which is similar to CBDCs. It is a testing ground for sure that stable coins provide testing ground for technologies, mechanism, infrastructure. There is a demand test because also stable coins highlighted the market demands for digital currencies and pushed the governments to create their own digital currencies. And regulatory response, the issues with stable coins prompted regulators to consider the implication of digital currencies on global financial system. So this was a very good playground, I would say. However, they are completely different in several ways. For example, insurance. The stable coins, as we discussed, issued by private organizations, while CBDCs will be issued by central banks, and all the implications for this one. And CBDCs will be a nation's monetary asset, right? Decentralization, because we consider that stable coins partially decentralized because they are on decentralized blockchains, when CBDC will be completely on centralized or hybrid infrastructure, and they will be managed by banks. So in essence, it's like your bank account, right? And the third one is a legal status, because like once CBDC will be like legal currency, meaning that they would be recognized by governments as official medium, exchange and store of values. At the same time, stable coins will be alternative to this official money. So I agree with Alexander that this is a precursor to CBDCs, but in terms of more learning experience and highlighting potential benefits and addressing the challenges. But in fact, both of these currencies stay alive and continue to live their independent lives.
Got it. Amazing. So, gentlemen, I think we made a great job together, because now I think we really open it for many people the understanding of stable coins, and that this part of the market are absolutely not acquired, and so many things happen there, and market continue the growth, and every stablecoin issuing company working hard on their development, and many exchanges working with the stables, every person using the stables. So this kind of business has a really great future. And I want to say thank you for all of you there, for your participation, for the very kind information that you gave to me and to our listeners today. For me, that was a pleasure, because I like to have interesting topic first, except just topics about something to speak. Yeah, for me, the topic of the stablecoins are very sensitive and interesting point, because my own experience, that's all kind of stables that you can imagine, because we work with projects from all over the world, and all of them using stables to work with us. And I have full list of stables which you ever seen on our company wallets. And definitely, yeah, for us, that's the important to understand how this model can work in future and be acceptable for millions of people that we're trying to adopt to the crypto space. It's exactly 1 hour from the moment we started. I think that was more than enough. Thank you, Alexander, for your participation. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, all our listeners, Emirex, VNX, as a part of today, AMA. And let's see in the future what will happen. I think, yeah, we will meet again somewhere and speak about the results. That will be nice to recap some things after. Thank you again, and have a great day.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, David. Thanks a lot, Greg. Thank you. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Have a good day, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.